You're listening to That Home Loan Hub. I'm Zibuni Salimova, here to make home loans and property investing simple, smart, and stress-free. Let's get you closer to your property dreams. Hello, and welcome back to That Home Loan Hub. Today, we are covering a very, very important topic. If you have insurance and if you ever thought, how do I make a claim, stay tuned in. I'm joined by Rebecca. Hello, Rebecca.
Hi.
Hey. So, how to make a claim, super important, because we talked about what sort of insurance you can get, but how do you actually make a claim?
Yeah, especially you've been paying for it all this time. So, end of day, you've got an advisor, unless you've taken it out through a bank, but you've got a bank. First point of contact is contacting the person who looks after your insurance. If you don't have someone who looks after your insurance, then contacting the insurance company is probably your best bet.
But hopefully you know where you're insured.
Yeah, exactly. There's factors. But look, end of day, an advisor's job is to check in with you every year. You should know who you have. And if you don't, then that's a bigger problem. So we'll go on the basis of your advisor for now.
Yeah.
So contact us. We can help you through the whole process, especially if it's a major thing. Like if it's a small health claim, chances are you've got an app with the health insurer. You can literally just do it on your phone and get an answer pretty quickly. If it's a life, trauma, income protection, mortgage protection, come to us. We can help you the whole way through. You're going through something serious, if any of those are being claimed on, something major, and we'll just help you. It's that simple. We get the forms, we help you fill them out, we get them to the insurer, we get them to push the claim through as quickly as possible.
And often we might find things that you didn't even know about that you could claim on.
Absolutely. So then there's that factor too, which is why in a previous one we've spoken about policy anniversaries and how important they are, because we can talk about that and talk about if anything's happened in the last year or 2 years that you could potentially claim on.
Okay. So how to make a claim? Step 1, contact your advisor. Yes. If you don't have an advisor, contact your provider. If you don't know who your provider is, check your bank statement. You will see who you're paying to.
Exactly.
Step 1. Step 2, talk to your advisor and explain everything what happened. Don't hold back. We are not here to judge. We listen, we take it in, and we'll find a way probably to claim for more things than you thought would be possible.
Absolutely. And the thing is, a lot of people don't know what cover they've got. Like they may have, they know they've got something. So really that's probably an addendum to step 1. If you know what you've got would be helpful because you know if you can potentially claim. Life cover is a very straightforward one, obviously. If you pass away, if someone passes away, you know you can claim on that. But then there's built-in things like a terminal illness, so if someone's been diagnosed, they've got 12 months or less to live, they can actually claim on that earlier and use that money to either enjoy the last of their months or even try some sort of treatment overseas that might not be available here.
Yeah, and then live longer. And we had those cases where people did get insurance and then they lived way beyond.
Yeah, and people don't know about the terminal illness part of it.
But also I think a lot of people don't realize of all the other benefits that come with that, like, for instance, counseling. Financial advice, help, and things like that are built in with some of your insurances, that you actually have access to those services. I know there's, like, for instance, with the cancer treatments, there is also access to certain specialists that can talk you through certain things. I'm thinking, for instance, breast cancer, even if they have full surgery to remove the breast, you could have access to counselor, psychologist to talk about the aspects of that. But also you could have access to someone that does implants and things like that, So there are lots of different benefits within the insurance. Apart from getting a payout, there are other...
Absolutely. And a big one is when you get a massive, like a lump sum payout, the financial advice part of it, that's a massive one. They'll, I think it's about, depending on the insurer again, but about $2,500 they'll put towards someone to give you the advice on what to use the money for and how to structure it best, depending on your situation. And that counselling one's massive, because even if you're going through, that's pretty much built in. That's built into all of them. That's because any of those claims is going to be a major thing that you're going through. And that counselling is for your surviving person on the policy as well, like the life one. for example, the surviving spouse can use it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, this is big. This is absolutely big. So absolutely, guys, if what would like you to do if you're listening to this, get home, if you're in a car right now or at work, get home, check what policies you have and make sure that number, that email address or your contact details for your advisor is readily available to you should you need it. And maybe, I don't know, come up with a little notebook of all the important contacts and just keep it all in one place, because you don't want to be, given a terrible news that you got only 12 months to live, and then on top of that stress, trying to stress out who was the advisor. Because, I'll tell you a story. About 10 years ago, I had this friend and her husband, he was a GP, and unfortunately he got really sick and he died shortly after. And she was panicking. She didn't know what insurance he had because she was dealing with all the finances. She was a stay-at-home mom. And she suddenly realized all these bills were coming in because he just opened a new clinic. So the rent needed to be paid, the credit cards needed to be paid, everything. And she had no idea what he was covered for. So I had to sit down with her and we had to go through all his paperwork, trying to uncover where was he covered, what insurance he had, all of this. That added a tremendous stress to his family at the time where all she wanted to do is to be next to him in the hospital and spend all the time just being with him. And she couldn't, because she had to get, the bills sorted and keep the roof over their head.
Absolutely. And I think that's where it comes into play. Obviously, if in a lot of relationships, it is one person that does look after all of that. But having that plan in place if something happens, and even if we'll say the wife in this instance didn't have a lot of input into the insurance side of things, at least having some sort of introduction at some point to the advisor, even by email or something, so she at least knows who to go to.
Yeah.
Is, even if she's not on the policy in any other way, other than either as an owner or not at all, just as someone who's going to have to get in touch with the advisor if something happens.
Yeah, no, very, very important episode. Thank you so much, Rebecca. I hope the listeners today have learned about it. And guys, if you want to learn more about insurances, Rebecca and I are running a webinar in September, and feel free to come and register. It will be a free webinar. We're going to cover everything to do with insurances. Thank you. Goodbye. And that's a wrap on That Home Loan Hub. Don't forget to hit subscribe and join me next time for more property tips and tricks. Your next smart move starts here.